Good morning, people. It is now the 14th of December, and this week we've had some highs and some lows, so I just want to run you through what's happened. Starting off, the highs. Engine and gearbox now back together. We started bolting some little bits on, like oil cooler lines and that. But yeah, that's now good to go, ready to go in the car when I get an extra pair of hands, which I think is probably going to be next weekend, but you will see that later on in this video. Also, my mill is now getting packed up, ready to go. I have now sold this, sold my lathe, sold my mill. I'm just about to move house and I can't be asked to move this with me, so I will be building a new workshop and buying new machines when that's ready. Now, onto the bad. So, as you've seen in previous videos, I made a custom prop for the car. I cut up a E36 prop shaft and a 5 Series F10 prop shaft, welded them together, got them basically where I needed them to be. Right, and then I took it up to a company in London called Propshafts Services. Now, Propshafts Services promised me a month's turnaround. This was back in July. Promised me a month's turnaround, which was fine because I was in no rush for the prop at all. I said, yeah, take your time, make sure it's right. I've told you all the dimensions. I've given you a piece of paper with all the dimensions on. I've taken the part there. I've spoke to you. No problem. Don't worry about it. They phoned me the other day. The prop's now been with them for 4 months. They've lost it. They've lost the dimensions, they've lost the part, they've lost the prop donut, they've lost absolutely everything I gave them, and there's nothing they can do about it. I lost the plot a little bit. It's not about the money for me, it's about the time and the effort that I went to make it, write everything down, drive it up there, which is, a 3-hour round trip for me, for them to just string me along for the last 4 months saying, oh yeah, we'll get it done next week, oh no, we've lost it. So now I've had to buy all new stuff and I'm going to have to remake the prop, which I'm probably not going to film because you've already seen it, but I've had to try and source a prop to fit the E36, which was pretty easy, to be fair. But that's only the back half. I still need the front half to cut up, which is a bit more difficult to find. And I've had to try and source a 5 Series prop as well, which I've managed to do. Got one off eBay, but it's still an extra expense and extra time waiting around waiting for the part. And then now I've got to remake it again, which took me a little while, trying to line everything up and everything like that. So if you're in the market for a prop shaft, do not go to Propshafts Services in London. I think they're in Feltham, bottom end of London. Do not go anywhere near the place because they are useless. I will be sending my prop shaft to a different place up in Leeds. I will put a link in the description below in case you're ever interested for a custom prop. Right, engine in tomorrow. Just prepping everything in the garage, ready to go. Got the gearbox mount out, ready to go. I've lost the gearbox mount bolts, but hopefully I can find some replacements for that. And trying to do some bits on the car. It's just started bloody raining, hasn't it? So let's hope, fingers crossed, that we can get the engine in tomorrow. I did also come out to the garage the other night and find this on its side, because I think my engine crane, basically I lent this to a mate last year and he's ruined it. I think my engine crane keeps losing pressure, so it keeps falling over, so I've just chopped it up with some wood for now. Right, it's a new day, it's a new week, it's the 23rd of December, it's nearly Christmas, and unfortunately I've not filmed very much for this video, mainly because we've been working outside. It's been really bad weather. But Saturday, me and Kev, eagle-eyed viewers, there's no engine in here. Saturday, me and Kev spent the whole day on the car, and the engine is now in. with a lot of stuff bolted onto it. So I managed to film one clip the whole day in between weather, so I'll put that in. Right, very productive day today. Very productive day. Weather's been a bit shit, so I didn't film putting the engine in. Now, like I say, I apologise that I didn't film any of like the actual engine in process. To be honest, it wasn't really that spectacular, and we were fighting the weather all day. We had a gaze bow set up and sort of dodging raindrops all day, so we just sort of decided to do it as quickly as possible. Didn't want like the camera and everything to get soaking wet like we did, but I reckon 1 or 2 more days, 1 or 2 more full days. Kev's got some wiring to finish. I've got all the battery and stuff like that ready to go into the car. That's going behind the passenger seat. So we've got all the wiring ready to go. I just need him here to finish off a few lines. I said to him that I'm not confident doing the wiring, and he's a spark, so he can sort that out. And then it might be time to turn the key. Now, because we've rebuilt this engine, we're going to smoke test it before we put any fluids into the engine, just to be safe. That way we can see if there's any leaks, anything like letting more oil pass by it. Basically, because we gap the rings and everything like that, I want to check that they're okay. Engine still turns over absolutely lovely, so quite happy about that. But yeah, going to smoke test it, make sure it's sound, put some fluids in it, and then in the next video that I put up, which will probably be January at some point, it'll be time to turn the key. Whilst we got some light, I want to show you. Now, I might have to cut this bonnet vent because, if you can just see that, it's just sitting up proud on the rocker cover at the moment. But, drum roll, have a look at that. That looks almost like it's supposed to be in there, which is kind of strange. You can see how high it sits, but I have purchased some bonnet raisers. They'll be here at the end of the week, so hopefully it just gives it a little bit of lift. I still might have to just scallop out a couple of these. But anyway, moving on. Coolant lines are all done. They're all plumbed in. It's all plumbed into the thermostat back there. Fuel lines are all done. They're all run to the fuel regulator to the back of the car. Catch cans plumbed in. Obviously these 2 lines here are the vent lines for the catch can. Coming down here, starter motors in, engine mounts are in, they're all nice and tight. HT leads are in. We've had to route them this side to avoid the belts and stuff like that, but that's in. There is a boost control solenoid here, you can just about see it, so that's the boost controller. But radiator fans are on, they're just waiting to be wired in. We are really taking shape now. I reckon 1 or 2 more days on it, wire in, get the hot side back in. We had an issue. I bought a gasket kit for the whole engine, and every gasket has been spot on, but they sent me a standard 12 valve gasket for this side and an R32 gasket for this side, which doesn't fit because it's got square ports on it and this has got round ports on it. So I've got to wait for that before I can put the manifold on, put the turbo on. But she's in. Oh, and power steering's down there as well. I just need to find someone to do some lines for me. I wonder if we can see it a bit better down here. That's that bracket, that's silver bracket there, you can see is the power steering. Oil cooler lines are going to be tucked up a little bit more, but she looks like a car again, finally. Just wanted to do a quick video of underneath. Obviously, if you've not been keeping up with the channel and you're new to the channel, then you'll know, or you might not know, we've had to modify the gearbox mount this is an original gearbox mount that we've had to move 4 inches back in the car. So we've used the original mounting points and just moved everything 4 inches back. I've had to shorten the shift linkage there, and if you can just about see, we've had to really cut out quite a bit of the subframe. So we've got a concern at the moment. The concern is that the subframe, well, we've chopped a lot of meat out of it. We have welded a 6mm plate in there to stiffen it back up, but we're wondering if we might have to put another bit underneath, put another plate underneath, just to keep just to stiffen it up even more. But I think for now we're just going to run it as it is. Obviously this is a 530D gearbox. It's not meant to be in this car. It does fit. It does fit in the standard place, to be honest, which would have been nice to just keep everything where it is, but because of the oil pump situation on the sump, we've had to move everything back. But that's fine. It's still nice and tidy under here. Everything's done. All the fuel lines, you can see, they're all AN lines. They go all the way towards the back of the car. All the brake lines are all brand new. I don't know, you ain't gonna be able to see any of this, but yeah, everything underneath here is all brand new. Obviously there's some bits that still need under sealing and stuff like that, but that can wait until the better weather comes in, because I don't really like being underneath a car in this sort of weather if I can help it. But yeah, just thought I'd show that as well. Whilst I'm also on the subject, got the 5 Series prop shaft there ready to be cut up. We basically I need that flange and this pipe, because this pipe is the same diameter as the 36 one, whereas that's a bit bigger, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's correct. And then once I get the manifold gasket, obviously the manifold can go back on, the turbo can go back on, and then a lot of this is just spare stuff that we've accumulated. That's an elbow to go on the end of the turbo. That's the oil, the water feed and return lines. We've got the oil line in for the turbo. There's a battery, obviously, and then the downpipe can go on, and the first start's going to be downpiping out, so she's going to be very loud. I hope my neighbours are ready for that. Right, moving on a few days. We've had some bits turn up. We've cracked on a lot with the engine build, and I wasn't really going to show this because it's just bolting parts in, but I figured most people would want to see this. And that is, hot side is now on the engine. Water lines are now plumbed into the engine. We've got a nice oil drain down there into the sump. Downpipe's on. I think it's almost there. It's almost there. Got a little bit more. Kev has made the engine harness, but we're just waiting for a few plugs to turn up to finish it off. Obviously, it's all going to come out of here. These 4 connectors straight into here. The loom's only about 3 foot long, but obviously we've still got to do e-throttle, stuff like that. But yeah, my next job is to just trim this. If I move that out of the way, I've just got to trim the bonnet vent, because you can see screamer comes out right in the middle of a fin, and I don't know if you can see down there, that is the top of the rocker cover right there, and it's just catching on that one. So I'm going to have to like scallop that out a little bit, for the screamer, but it's close. It's almost there. That is with the addition of some bonnet raisers, which I'm really not a big fan of. I don't like bonnet raisers. I don't know if they look good or not. I don't think so. But like I said before, the engine sits really quite high because of how it is. It's not obviously a BMW engine, so I'm gonna have to modify everything to suit. But yeah, that's good. Almost done. Also today, well, the last couple of days, We've got the 3 gauges in, so we've got AFR, oil pressure and a boost gauge up in there, which I think looks quite good, to be honest. My original plan of putting them down here, I think I am actually really glad that they've gone up there, to be honest, because it looks quite tidy. Like, the vent's not going to be used anyway. Like I say, there's nothing behind there, so I think that's a good use of a vent. And I've just got a battery mounted behind the seat. So now it is a case of waiting for Kev to finish the wiring, and she's ready to go. I can't wait. I'll see you in the next video.